Hello, 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 and welcome to this live webinar on goal setting and planning for an awesome 2019. All right, so I see you're getting used to, hey, Catherine, getting used to the chat room. If you can, what I usually like to do, because this is usually the time when everybody's chatting like crazy and things start kind of freezing up a little bit as we're all getting onto the chat room, just type in there. I'm glad you're getting used to it. This is going to be a very interactive webinar. Go ahead and type where you're calling from. I see Kelly figured it out. Kelly from Auburn, California, welcome. Jamie from Florida, welcome. Susan, Alpharetta, Georgia, love it. Monica from New York. So we've got people from all over the world. Welcome to this live webinar. I'm so excited that you're here, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and I want you to know I am so privileged that you're in this, and I love this. Look at this. You guys are so used to it. I love it, love it, love it. Well, get ready to keep typing because we're going to be going through a lot of materials. We're going to be doing a lot of brainstorming. So here we go. What are we going to learn? Okay, hopefully you're ready. Buckle your seatbelts. There's a lot. We're going to go over 5 practical steps for keeping goals, 5 emotional steps for moving forward and keeping those goals, 7 action items for success. I'm just going to lay it out. I'm going to brainstorm very specifically to the staging and design realm. I'm going to walk you through a stager's marketing calendar, give you some great ideas for that. And I'm going to give you example goals for all levels of business, and also for those of you, most of you who are even looking into the industry, I'm going to give you some goals for getting started. I'm going to talk through some systems you may want to work on and focus on and examples of those. And of course, like most of my live webinars, if you've not been on one before, I give real stories, real commentary, real goals from my own members, my own trainees, and photos all along the way. So welcome. Okay, who is this live webinar for? You are in the right place. If you are a brand new home stager, if you're just looking into the staging and design industry, maybe you just love design or you're a design enthusiast or color lover, you're welcome here. Real estate agents looking into staging and veteran stagers or stagers who have been staging for however many years, you are in the right place. This is about our industry, but actually this webinar, more than even any of my other webinars, I think really transcends. I even invited some of my friends just to come in because it's really about goal setting. I'm fired up about this. It's a brand new year. It's super exciting. I don't know about you, but when it's a brand new year, I always think of what I want to do this year. So thank you to all of you who filled out the survey when you signed up. Maybe you didn't see that there was a little button that said, survey, and it's a 10-second survey. And I asked you guys, what's your situation? How long have you been staging? What's your looking into it? Are you getting started? Where are you at? And I asked you what you wanted to hear from, or what did you want to see in this training? And I got so many great, this is just a snapshot. There were, hundreds of these, but I do read through them. Like I love Pamela's how do I get started? What are the requirements? Gail, who's 2 to 4 years, she has different needs. She wants to know best practices for approaching sellers and marketing. She wants to create some marketing goals for this year towards sellers. I love that. Jody, who's 6 months to a year, she's just like anything and everything. Sally said the same thing, fees, all this great stuff. So I just want you to know, I appreciate you filling out this survey when you did, and I do shape my live webinars around these surveys. You also know you're in the right place when you like to see rooms that start out like this and end up like this, right? How many of you, and you can say it in the chat room, feel free to ooh and ah, love to see and look at before and after photos? You can give me a yes. I get it. And that's how you know you're in that place. So this kind of stuff that really excites us, right? I love to see these kind of transformations. This one particularly, I don't even know what you could do with this space. I just had to go back to it, right? Whoa. Anyway, so you're in the right place. And part of this means you're one of that rare breed that loves design. You just love it. You've been living it. You've been doing it. You've been doing it since you were a kid. And that's me too. So I'm with you all the way. Those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Audra Slinkey. I'm president of the Home Staging Resource. And we are the first online mixed media staging and design training company launched in 2006. My mojo, my thing is online training. And so I always thought at the time there was, classroom stuff available, but I love the idea of online because people can access it anytime, all the time, and even hit the rewind button. So I launched that training, staging training, way back when. We were the first to become RISA accredited. I also blog for the National Association of Realtors and for my own company, which I call HSR, Home Staging Resource. And I'm proud of being voted number 1 and 2 about that. I've won some innovative winners things of the year through RISA, which is the Real Estate Staging Association. That is the nonprofit, the independent staging association for the staging industry, for my products, because I do love, more importantly, more than anything else, I actually am super proud to have trained the most successful and award-winning stagers in the industry. The stagers who are killing it, rocking it. A lot of them are my members. You know they are if you are researching in your area, especially if you're looking into it and you find a stager's website. If you see this logo, that means they've gone through my training. And I'm so, so proud of them and to be a part of their growth and their learning. If you are an HSR stager or certified color expert, if you've taken any one of my trainings, these are my 3 trainings I've launched. I'd love to hear from you in the chat room too, because it's always great to see your moral support. So I love to hear if you're on the line, give me a little shout out. Thanks, guys. So this is how you know this is me. I love training. My 2 passions, design, training, and I set goals around my year for that. And I'm really excited for you because this is going to be your year. This is your year. You're going to stop time in this webinar. Hopefully you removed all your distractions, all your questions I want you to write down. Hopefully you've got the workbook, but if you don't that I gave you, you can always just write notes as we go. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. I talk fast, so you're always allowed to go back to the replay and rewatch, which I will be doing myself because I'm making some of my own goals for this year. But this webinar starts with, are you moving towards your dreams with real momentum? This is just a very soul-searching question. Are you moving towards your dreams with real momentum? And for some of you, do you even know what those dreams are? Okay. And so I want you to think about this. I want you to take a moment and think about this because I'm going to explore it a little bit too with you, and it's okay to dream. I always have to say for some of you, I get calls all the time, people looking into the staging industry, and I find that a lot of people don't start moving towards their dreams until they're at least 50. And it's really interesting. At 50, 60, 70s, those are the people I get call me and they're like, I'm finally going to do what I love. I'm finally going to do something for myself, and it's staging. I've been practical all my life. I want to do this, but am I too old? And so this is my quote for you. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Clint Eastwood is my hero. The man's in his 80s, pumping out the best movies ever. So I just want to tell you that, but I also want to tell you, no matter what age you are, it's okay to dream and it's okay to pursue those dreams. Whether you're a stager, whether you're looking into the industry, this is how we get things done. But I know for a lot of us, especially those of us staging, how many of you who are in the staging realm right now sometimes feel like this guy, that you are just, there's so much to know, there's so much to learn, or you're just getting started and you don't necessarily know where to go. And you're kind of like that hamster on a wheel. And a lot of times I feel like this too, guys. So if you feel like that, go ahead and put, yeah, that's me. I feel like that sometimes in the chat room. Good, because I can see you guys can hear me. But a lot of you, those of you who are looking into the industry, and this is going to be a curious question I'm going to ask you guys, because a lot of you are looking into the industry or just getting started into staging. How long have you been looking into the staging industry? I want you to put it in the chat room. Put how long, whether it's been a month to a year to 2 years. Those of you may feel like, I get emails all the time from people who are like, I have been looking into the staging industry. It was 5 years ago when I discovered staging, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to finally pursue it. Look at you guys. I love it. Years, months, beautiful. And you feel like this gal, right? Where did 2018 go? Where did it go? If we don't stop time, write down our dreams, and start focusing on those goals, this is what happens. We're just going in circles. So I want you to think about that imagery when you're, wondering where the last, 2 months went and you're not moving toward your goals. So let's talk about practical steps. And I have some bonuses for you in this training to also walk you through it. Things that I use in my everyday to get stuff done. All right, practical steps. Let's do this. Here's how you make a goal. Here's how you get it done. You've got to write it down and you got to check it off. Okay, so a goal is, I asked this question in Facebook, and a lot of people were like, I want to double my income. I want to do something. And that's a little nebulous, because it's really what I say is you write that goal, but more importantly, we need to map that goal, and we map it with our intentions. And I'm going to use the word intentions. Intentions are those daily things that we do to reach that goal. Right? So you write the goal down, and we're going to map out the intentions that are going to get you to that goal. Multiple intentions help you reach your goal. So I'm going to actually give you this. It's going to be a handout I'm going to have you download afterward, and I'm going to send it to you in an email when I send the replay. But it's kind of a cool, it allows you to map out. It's your 2019 goals. I actually filled in a few words. What's your big dream? Maybe a marketing goal, maybe a creative goal, a systems goal, a personal growth. You can fill out the blanks. You can use all of this blank, and from that goal, you're going to put in some of the activities that need to be done. So it just gives you an idea of, okay, what steps do I need to take to reach that? Because at the end, okay, let's say your goal is to lose 20 pounds. Welcome to my world. My goal is to lose 20 pounds. So my intention every day right now is to exercise every day, right? My another intention would be to cut sugar, and another would be to count calories. So I'd write that down, and I would check it every day. And it's those intentions that help us reach that goal. And I use the word intention because I think it's more forceful, and it's also a more powerful word for us, right? An intention is a determination to act in a certain way. It's a resolve, not a resolution. I think we throw out, what's your New Year's resolution? We throw that out really loosely, but resolve means something. And also, the secondary meaning is import and significance. If the goal is important to us, those intentions become very significant. Would you agree? Yeah. So let's say your goal is to, and I'm going to throw out a lot of examples throughout this, so I know you're going to be writing. I just want your brain to be opening up and flowing to the examples I give. But let's say your goal is 6 figures just doing consultations. Let's say you don't want to do vacant staging. You just want to do kind of different in-out home consultations, zero overhead kind of business model. So to reach that, you need to, I'm just breaking that small part down, because I saw a lot of stagers say, I want to double my income, or I want to reach this amount. But you need to actually be a little bit more intentional, a little more specific, right? 2 staging consultations a week you'd need. And I'm also helping you out, guys, a little bit with pricing. Each consultation about $200. That's pretty, that's pretty actually conservative for our industry. Usually it's more, depends on how much you give. Let's say one of those consultations turns into a staging day where you're in there and you're rolling up your sleeves with your client. That's another $700 you'd need for that week. Let's say you get another color consultation. You decide you want to beef up that side of your business, so you need to market that. You get one of those. You need to be, let's say you're shopping for one of those consultations, so you make a couple hundred on that. And let's say one of your past consultations turns into a move and redesign, because I always say, if you don't know me, the staging business model is such a good business model to start. So much better than interior design, because this home stager has a very specific clientele, a target market, and realtors. They're very easy to find. They're really fun to connect with and partner with. But the stager also has first crack at the interior designer's #1 target market, and that's the new homeowner. The seller is much more inclined to spend on the home they're moving into. So if you're not actively kind of upselling your design services and getting this kind of business, then you need to put that into your system if you're a stager. But I'm just giving you an example of what if you want 6 figures in consultations, this is kind of what you could do a week. And that would give you $2,400 a week, or $120,000 a year on 20 hours. So okay, I'm hoping, can you guys still all hear me? I'm seeing that you lost feed, but I see that you still have me all of a sudden. I'm noticing a little lost feed. Are you there? Yes, somebody said yes. I'm good. Holly, good. Thank you, Holly. Okay. Whew, I know some people. I know that sometimes it's really based on your internet, but again, there's a lot of people on this line, so that's what happens. All right. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you. You're great. So this is just how you would do the math for that goal. I'm just giving you an example. Let's talk more practical steps. Hopefully you're filling it out on your sheet. Busy does not mean productive. I see a lot of busy stagers trying to find information on Facebook groups to build their business. And that's not really being productive, because they're relying on other people, and that could be false information. I see a lot of them spend maybe way too much on social media, right? Some of you feel that way too at times. So here's what I do. Here's what I recommend. Calendar your intentions in pencil, because I get it. Life gets in the way sometimes, but at least it's there and you wrote it down. When you write something down, it's more likely to happen. And what I do is I use a 2-week calendar and I calendar what I want my goals and my to do in pencil for that week. And then I check off as I go, or sometimes I bounce it to the next day. And I'm going to give you just this blank calendar. It's just really easy to get that going. But I find that when you write it down and check it off, it keeps you motivated. I also use a 4-week bird's eye calendar because I need to also see what's 3 weeks ahead of me. So I look at the 2 weeks, that's kind of my long term, but then I do the 4 weeks and I write down my completions weekly. When I say completions, I mean the stuff I actually really worked on and created. How many of you guys have worked on something really cool, let's say for your business, and then all of a sudden the weekend hits and then Monday you forgot that you did that or you created that? Because that happens to me a lot. So I sometimes have to write down at the end of the week what all I did. I look at my intentions, how much I've completed, and what that looked like. And what that looks like for me is this. I have my 4-week calendar. I know I'm a paper girl, crazy, right? I still don't have a Kindle, but I like to keep this on my desk. I put my goals, I put my activities, this is my 4-week, just bird's eye, and then accomplish the week. And I know some of you are saying, but Audra, you're writing down things twice in your 2-week and in your full month. And I'm going to tell you, yes, I do. I write the important stuff down twice. And when I do, I'm kind of manifesting it. I'm making it happen. And I'm giving you guys this. Don't worry. Someone said, "Is this a planner?" I just created these in Word, but I'm going to give you this in the bonus afterward in an email, a link to download, so that you can just print out in a blank sheet and use these, then accomplish that. You can just fill in the blanks. So practical steps, right? I am providing it. You are getting it. Let's talk emotional steps, because this has really helped me, especially in the last, 6 months. One of my kind of life coach mentors that I love, Brendan Burchard, he has this thing and he recommends it. And I agree. I recommend it. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, I recommend a big stretch. I mean, stretch so that you hear the roar in your ears. You're just stretching it out. And literally, you're taking not even a minute to think about, envision your goal, your intentions for that goal. When you envision it, you can see it. But I also want you to envision maybe a fail, like something, your fear, because your fear is there no matter what, no matter how time you put away. Maybe you're envisioning going to realtor offices today or giving a realtor presentation, and your fear is that someone's going to ask you a question and you don't know the answer. Then I want you to envision, again, yourself overcoming it. And it's just for that day. Do that morning exercise, 1 minute. Trust me, it really works. So I did this morning. I'm envisioning my webinar because I get nervous. And also, I know you guys know, so yeah, I love the yes. Thank you. Loves me some paper too. Good. Surround yourself with positivity. Positivity. I don't know about you, but it's really easy to get down and negative and worrisome, especially when I read or watch too much news. And sometimes I just shut it off. I just have to. Sometimes I have to shut my email to get, for 5 hours at a time to get stuff done. Raise your dream standards. Don't be afraid to do it. Dream. What's your big dream? What do you want to accomplish? What's your big goal? Create that big goal. It doesn't matter if you don't accomplish it, but you got to have it, right? It has to be there. Don't be afraid of it. It is there. It is big, and you can do it. Believe in yourself and your ability to learn and grow. You can learn and grow and do anything you want if you're willing to do it. You really can. Anybody can. I've seen people do it all the time. I've seen people with the odds stacked completely against them get into this industry and do amazing. It shocks me sometimes, but I love it, and I love to hear their stories. I shared one in one of my last webinars about, a member who got diagnosed with cancer right after they signed up. But guess what? That's what was the impetus to get them through their treatment, and then their business is killing it. So you can do it. And for a lot of us, especially my experienced stagers, gratitude, you got to practice gratitude. It really, helps. It's so easy sometimes for us to get down on our clients or get frustrated on our clients or get like, that guy, I get it. I have been there. But if we rephrase it, if we rethink it and just say, thank you for this client. I'm so fortunate. It's just something we almost have to practice. It doesn't always come natural, but when we do, we're sending out these good vibes, and the good vibes come back to us. I totally believe that. It definitely works. So for a lot of you, I want you to remember this phrase, because now that when we get into some nitty-gritty goal setting, it's really not what you need to do more of, but sometimes what you need to work on less. So from some of those stagers, some of you stagers who are doing marketing in like 100 different directions, pick 3. So that's part of setting a goal, like one specific marketing goal, and then just focusing on that. And I'm going to walk you through that. Here's 7 action items that lead you to growth. And I've done a ton of study on this, guys, on how, productivity, goal setting, all that good stuff. So let's get to it. Before we do, let's look back. We have to look back. Looking back is how you know where to move forward. So a couple questions. This is a really big one, and I want you to put it in the chat room. If you want to be transparent, this is where I'm really looking forward to the chat. I want you to think about these questions, and if you're feeling honest and courageous, put it in the chat to help other people, give other people ideas, because I'm going to ask a lot of different ones. If you're an experienced stager, was there a particular job you loved working on last year? What did it look like? If you're looking into the industry, was there something creative that you did that you loved working on? And maybe that's why you're looking into the industry. Maybe you sold your home and it looked so good. The agent said to you, wow, I can't believe you're not a stager, right? And what in your calendar did you do that you were most proud of? So you have to kind of look back to hone in how you want to move forward, especially when it comes to your business. I love it. Lydia loves working with particular realtors. Oh, Lori did a French country home. How lovely. I love it. Working with people. You realize that's kind of what the meaning, the aha moments that you see in their face. I love it. So you're getting the juices flowing. I want you to think about that. Fill it in your sheet if you can. But I'm going to dig deeper, a little bit deeper. What do you do that makes you feel alive? What brings you alive? And what did you do that felt meaningful? Possibly. You don't need to have both. Maybe you didn't do anything that felt meaningful. That's okay. If you don't know what you want to do, you follow what you love learning. So that's why people a lot of times get into staging. If you love learning design, you're in the right place, because this is a good business for that. That's what we're always doing. If you don't know what you like to do, go back to what you found meaning in. And that kind of gets me to an email I got a couple weeks ago, and it really touched my heart. This was from a gal named Lindsay, and she talked about how when she was young and in college, she was very idealistic, and she followed her heart, which I kind of love. I've got a son who's looking at colleges right now, and you want them to follow their heart, and she did, into design and graphics. But then, kind of life got in the way for her. Real world, bills to be paid. Her first job was in customer service, and she's been stuck in that job for 13 years, and she's craving to get back to creating. And I need you guys to know, if you're not creating in your life, that is kind of it's innate. We're all made to create something, whether that's design, cooking, art, painting. We are all made to be creative, and she's just dying to do it. But she has fear, emotions running through her. Am I good enough? Will I make money? Will I succeed? I'm scared, nervous, and excited. She wants it to be a full-time career. She just doesn't know if she's making the right decision to take that leap of faith. A lot of you mentioned to me you've been looking into this for years, and sometimes it's a matter of just leaping. I get it. That's a hard thing to do. How many of you feel like Lindsay a little bit here? I get it. And she asked me, what's my words of wisdom? What could I tell her? And I really had to think about this email. But my one thing I do tell people is, when you're working on something that you care about and that you love, and that's your passion, you don't have to be pushed. The business pulls you. So I'm taking his Steve Jobs quote and I'm changing it up a little bit, but it is so, so true. The business will pull you. It does. It'll pull you. So what did you love creating? What did you hate working on? From my stagers. I hate to use the word hate, but we have to think about these things. I'm going to throw out a lot of questions. You guys can put some things in the chat room. I love it. Oh, Allison, you're so sweet. You're doing a great job. What was tough for you this last year as a stager? What did you want to change? What was your biggest money maker? Let's talk money. Show me the money, guys. And what brought your biggest leads? Lindsay, taxes. I get it. I'm sorry. I love to look at the chat room, but it's good. I want you to think about these things, right? Because these things are going to shape your 2019. Okay, now I'm going to give you a great example of a member, Shannon Dugan, who sent me this email like a week ago. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is exactly what my presentation's on. I love her. And she basically put all of those things I just went over with you, and I want you to still be thinking about them in kind of her agenda. She's a very organized person, obviously. She started my program a year and a half ago, but she didn't open for business until a year ago. So she's in her year mark. So like all of you guys, what you would be looking like if you started today for next year. So what did she do? This year, she did 55 occupied staging consults, 10 vacants, 6 renovations, and then she mentioned she's not going to be doing that service. She didn't like, overseeing the contractors, wasn't her favorite. 12 redesign projects plus some color. And then she worked with 18 agents, but only 7 consistently. So she just kind of put down those were kind of, she had goals in every one of those areas, which I love. So she's a great example of someone who set goals and then set her intentions. And she said she exceeded a lot of her goals. Great. That doesn't look like a bad year to me. Only falling short of a few. But here's what I really loved. Here's what you learn from reflecting. So I'm going to share her. She told me I could share her email. She reflected and realized when it comes to vacant staging, she wants to do smaller homes. I love that. So she's going to focus on better niche apartment modeling. We talked about how to market to apartments because she just wants to keep that going. She decided she really likes to work with the agents, but she wants to build her agent base. And she's realizing that the presentations aren't getting her the traction that Google or Facebook is. So she's going to build that. And then she realized that in the summer, her marketing efforts stopped because she was busy staging. How many of you guys have been there with that, right? So she realizes she needs to put in some sort of marketing automation, right? She's learning how to be efficient, but she's spending too much time writing reports. I get it. And then she decided that she wants to turn one-time jobs into two-time. She's not upselling her design enough is what she's figuring. So I love this. What did she learn from this? What are her goals from 2019? I'm just giving you guys ideas through her story, but we're going to explore a lot more. She discovered her niche within vacant staging. So she's still going to do vacant staging, but she's going to keep it controlled because she wants it to work around her lifestyle. She doesn't want to go to the big warehouse. She doesn't, she wants to keep it small. She has enough for 4 homes. That gives her a pretty good income that just kind of funnels money in. And I love that. You've got to consider your lifestyle. She's discovered her non-negotiables. And that's one thing I want you guys to think about. What are you going to say no to? Her PITA clients, the pain in the you-know-what clients. She doesn't want to deal with renovations. I think that's smart. She knows. And then she's understanding the realtor relationship and how to enhance it better. And she realizes she needs to make a goal for marketing automation. So those are great goals, wouldn't you say? Right? And then, of course, I have to include, for all of you, especially those looking into it, then she gives me this. I love what I do. It's not work to me. And that's the point. That would be my answer to Lindsay's email. It's not work. It's so rewarding to help the homeowners during their stressful time. So it's also very meaningful to them. So I love this. All right. So we learn lessons, right? We learn lessons reflecting. So when we reflect on the past, now that we know what we want to do, let's reflect on what we don't want to do. What don't you want to do again? I kind of mentioned that to you. What did you try that didn't work? Whatever story or bad experience or bad client or whatever didn't sit well with you last year, let's let it go. Right? Let's let it go. And for my advanced stagers, because I told you I'm dealing with you guys at all levels and I'm trying to move quickly through both, not my advanced stagers, but from my stagers to my looking to just started. But for the people working in the industry, here's some things I think I've seen stagers need to let go. Tell me if any of these resonate with you. Some of you need to let go of some clients that are not worthy of you. You're saying yes to the clients that are driving you crazy. And the beauty of being an entrepreneur is you get to say no. So maybe some of you need to do that. Some of you need to let go of control. You're trying to control everything in your business, and you may need to outsource. I've seen some people, they'll spend hours trying to do a very simple technical thing on their website, when if they had just paid $25 to someone on Fiverr or Upwork, that person could have done it in probably 10 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we need to let go of control to grow. Some of you may decide, what you're going to let go of is you're not going to work weekends anymore. You're just going to put your foot down on that. Some of you need to let go of taking clients out of fear. Doing things out of fear will never necessarily be productive. Some of you may decide to let go of discounting your service. Don't need to do that. Some of you need to let go of spaces being perfect. I tell my sister this sometimes. They do such a good job. But how many of you find that in a home, especially a vacant job, you spend 10 minutes setting up a room, putting everything in, and then you spend the next 50 minutes tweaking, right? You want it to be, but at the end of the day, if the client's not paying for that time, if you're not making money, then maybe we need to let go of that level of perfection. So just some ideas. For those of you who are looking into the industry or just getting started, you just need to let go of that fear of failure. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's no failure here when you're learning and you're growing and you're moving forward. When you invest in your learning, you're here. You've invested this hour in your learning. You could have been watching TV and not learned anything. My goal is that out of this presentation, you'll have a mini epiphany, maybe one, maybe more. I'm really praying more. But if nothing else, it's okay to let go of the fear of the unknown. Right? It's okay to let go of the fear of rejection. Here's the tip. You're going to get rejected. So what? One person will be rejecting, the others will love you. Who cares? The rejecting one is never going to be your client anyway. Some of me, I have a fear of freezing up or not having the right answers. I have to tell you, one of my goals a couple years ago was I knew I needed to do these live webinars. I knew it was the best way for people to actually see the way I train. Never invest in a trainer unless you actually see the way they train, right? Get an example. And if it's not working for you, or they talk too fast or they talk too slow, but I didn't want to do these live webinars. I get so nervous. I hate being in front of people. I'm afraid of freezing up. I'm afraid of, having the live chat room. I think I'm the only webinar person who has this crazy live chat room because rejection is difficult. You're right, Fran, it is. And there could always be a hater out there, right? But here's the deal. I can't shape my business from one bad experience, or because a hate is always going to hate. I got to move on. And so I'm telling you, this is your time to let that go, shake that off. Whatever last year kind of brought you down, that whatever that was, this is your chance right now as we're looking into 2019. Let's shake it off. And I shook it off. I invested in learning how to do webinars. And I have to say the last 2 years doing these live webinars have been the best kind of years of my business because it puts me in touch with you. And I love that. And here's a little tip. This is from my Brendan Bouchard guy, who I do love, but he says, and he's so right, the highest performing people in the world are courageous. That's really what it comes down to. I had to tap into my inner lion. They practice that through honesty, transparency, and openness. If you're honest with somebody and they reject you, then that is not your person. But if you're really honest, and some of us need to be maybe a little more honest in the homes that we work in with our clients, being courageous with that, your clients will respect you. Okay? Shake it off. I love it, Allison. So here we go. We got time for a little, let's decompress, a little before and after break, right? I get these photos. We have a Facebook group called Stagers Connect just for my members. And I'm telling you, it is such a loving place. And people will share their work, new and veteran, and just the oohs and ahs. It's just, it's really, it's very motivating. It's these kind of things that motivate me. So now that we've reflected on the past is our reference, but not our residence. We've shaken it off, and let's brainstorm. Let's do this. We're ready to crush it, guys? All right. What would you step out and do if you could not fail? All right. This is a big question for all of you. What would you step out and do if you could not fail this year? What would that look like to you? So if you're a stager, maybe you need to step out and do a tougher job. Maybe you need to step out and hit a different target market that you hadn't explored, just like Shannon's doing with apartment marketing. If you're looking into the industry, maybe it's time for you. I meant to tell you guys in this presentation, I will have specials, my training specials. So definitely wait. They are there. They're coming. I always say, if I give you some good information, I hope it's okay if I sell you just a little bit. So I should have asked for your permission on that. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. But moving forward, creative brainstorm, let's do it. One thing I have in my training is called a Getting Started Guide. And I told you this is why I write things down. You are very motivated when you check things off. I don't know about you, but when I check off my to-do list, boy, do I feel good. So I always have that. And part of what's in there, so for those of you who are looking into the industry, a lot of you ask me, what could I do now to move forward into that dream? And I get it. If you don't want to completely jump, you don't have to jump out into the void. Here's what I want you to do now. I want you to ask yourself, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? We're going to do 6 months. And I want you to write down what your relatable story is. If you're envisioning yourself as a stager at some point, what is that story that brings you to that point? Because every one of us who has come into the staging realm comes from a completely different area. Whether we're teachers, nurses, hairdressers, corporate people, we all have a story. Moms, stay-at-home moms, we all have a story. And it's so funny. People think that doesn't fit their new staging story, but it actually does. People will relate to you when you connect the two. And I love to watch the way people in the training connect their past life with their dream life, their new goal. Write it down, because guess what? This is going to be your About Us on your website. Just start writing it down. Next, create your vision, define your mission, do some goals, and know your SWOT. You're going to start a mini business plan. Write down your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats. That's business plan 101. But when you write those down, you have a more clear idea of kind of where the opportunities in your business will be and where the needs are. Start redesigning and photographing spaces in your home or in a friend's home. You want to do this, you're just getting started, it's time to build your portfolio and actually get good at photographing. So these are skills you can do right now without even having to, quit your day job, right? There's so much you can do to just kind of get you motivated towards that dream. I told you we need to be creative. These are creative things you can do. Another idea, brainstorm a business name. So much fun picking the business name. I always say to people, when you do that, pop open the champagne, right? Because I want you to think about, for those of you looking into the industry or just getting started, how are you going to activate your creativity over the next 6 months? We have to activate that. All right. So for my stagers who are doing the staging right now, what type of design do you want to learn more about or do more of? Go ahead and put it in the chat room if any of these questions, something pops in your brain that you're like, oh, yeah, I want to do more of this. This is what I like. And then it just helps everyone else to think about it. What part of your business do you like best? And what part maybe do you need to outsource? Yeah, a lot of you are thinking that one. What type of marketing plays to your strengths, and how can you do more of that? Those of you who are marketing 100 different ways, which is the better way? What plays to your strengths? What efficiencies do you maybe need to focus on with your business? Inventory, QuickBooks. What technology do you need to learn or outsource? How can you challenge yourself in 2019, right? This is our brainstorm on that. Who are the clients that you most want to work with? Who are those people? What do they look like? Envision them. Envision them. They will come your way. Okay. Some of you may have decided, you know what? I want to be better at recommending color. I get that a lot. People are like, color always makes me a little nervous when people say what color, what paint color. I get it. Maybe some of you said, I saw some of you, I want a better way of sharing my vision to clients through e-design or just vision boards. I get it. Maybe it's a win a RISA award this year. Hey, I'm on the awards committee, guys. It's going to be so much easier for you to submit your beautiful work, submit those before and afters. So I'm happy about that. Maybe some of you want to get one agent partner a month. That's a goal. Write it down. Maybe one of you says, I want to automate my marketing. That's a goal. Write it down. So these are goals, guys, that you can write down right now. I want you to you might want to write all of them down. These are example staging goals. We're not going to write the intentions yet. Maybe some of you need to automate your inventory process and update your brand. Some of you may need to stay in touch with your email list or just grow one. If some of you are thinking about selling, succession planning, what's your business worth, you need to have an email list, and it should be pretty good size. I love it. I love this sign too. May the space between where we're at and where we want to be, this all should inspire us. This should not bring us down. This is all brainstorming, guys. This isn't what you need to do for your business. We're brainstorming, and then you're going to pick one or two, right? And then you're going to get it done within 6 months, and then you're going to be so proud of yourself. Some of you may need to take on a leadership. So what part of the creative design world makes you feel the most alive? And I always bring this up and show a little photo. Is it the design realm? This is Leah Ward's design. Some of you love design. Shannon Dugan didn't. A little hint for all of you who are doing some kind of design, you need a really good general contractor, licensed and insured. Let them deal with the subs. You deal with the style. It's very doable. Some of you may want to focus on a niche, and that brings me to one of my offers for you. So give me one moment, and I'm going to bring it up. Hopefully you can see it. All right. And hopefully you see it. Some of you who thought color, I saw one of you said color, you want to get better at it. Maybe it's a niche for you. I have a certified color expert training. I am offering it as award-winning training. It won the Reese Award in 2017. Hopefully you see that there. It is at a discount. Normally it's $749. I'm giving it to you if that $50 is what it's going to take for you to invest in yourself and in that skill set over the next 6 months for you to develop that part of your business. If you're a stager, or even if you're brand new and you just want to do color because you know you love it and this is how you're going to activate your creativity, then here you go. I recommend you press the button. When you press the button, the webinar discount price, it's going to open in a different tab for you, and you can at least ponder it. You can think on that as we're creating our goals, because I move really fast here. But I want you to at least do that. Basically, the training, it's online. It's 3 days, but you can take a year if you need. You have access to it to go back to it. But it takes about a 3-day online course, and I pretty much cover everything from picking finish colors to paint colors to giving you, to connecting you with Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. I mail you a training manual, mail you a large binder, and the Sherwin-Williams key deck. And most importantly, I give you this awesome cheat sheet, which tells you the most popular colors, when to use them, why you'd use them, because you're not going to memorize 5,000 colors, right? How about just memorizing 100 and you're going to be good to go? Trust me, you will be completely confident with color once you get through this program. And I love this. Kathleen told me, gosh, I should have done this a long time ago. I just got 2 consults, paid for the course, within a month of signing up. So there you go. Maybe this year you're expanding the color side. So open that up and make that commitment to yourself. When you invest in yourself, you are not going wrong. So I'm going to go fast through this because I know some of you even mentioned e-design. I've never done this. Oops, let me go back. I've never done this on a webinar where I do all my training specials, but I am going to do this. So now I'm going to remove the color offer. Hopefully you press the button. I will send you these links again. It is going to expire Friday at midnight. I can't offer discounts all the time. I rarely do, but I just do it for this little time period. It's New Year's, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this for people. So I'm offering the Expert E-Designer program. Hopefully you see that there. Some of you want to do e-design. You want to pass the vision. Some of my experienced stagers. Normally that's $7.99. It's another $50 discount. So open that up to a different tab if you want to think on getting that discount. I love this story. This was Vicki Coggin. Who would have thought where this business would take her? She started the e-design program, and she actually, this was a church lobby, paid for her to do commercial e-design. So this was the before photo of what the lobby looked like. She created this board for them. She had an inspiration room. She put in the product so that they knew how much it would cost. She can calculate their budget. They could shop. And this is the after. Right? What a great job she did. I love it. So you never know where design, activating your creativity can take you. And in my e-design program, it's an online program again. I walk you through exactly how to run an e-design business and to do this for clients. And a lot of people even just get started with design this way. But more than that, I give you access to subscribe to a Design Files account that has a copy of all of my projects. So you get all my design projects. So for more information, in your notes, I have kind of a link that tells you more about those 2 things, because I don't want to take too much time on those. I want to get back into this training. But I just want to give you a discount if these are things that you were thinking about. I want you to get rolling on that. All right. So I'm going back to the chat. All right. If you're just starting out, you absolutely can do all three. Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be answering questions, but Janet, absolutely can do all three. I love it. Janet is dreaming, she could be dreaming really big for 2019, but absolutely, I have a lot of people who do all three. Those are the best prices you're going to get for all three at $50 off. So I'm going to answer questions though on the program at the end of this session because I really want to get into the meat of this as well. So sorry. Thanks for asking it. All right, let's talk about your calendar plan. Okay. I told you, let's do 6 months of planning. And I want you to think about, regardless of what level you're at, how are you going to make money? Let's talk brass tacks. Make money in 6 months. And I know creativity, we love doing what we love to do, but let's talk about what we want to focus on that's going to make us money. And let's list the things we want to make money on in 6 months. Write it down. Even if you haven't even started a staging business, write it down for yourself if that's what you want to do. I want to make money going into homes and helping them with design. Write it down. How are we going to make money in 2019 doing meaningful, passionate work for the right kind of client? If you have a passion for design, doing it for the right kind of client. Now we're going to talk steps. Write down your ultimate goals for the next 6 months. I'm going to give you some examples, guys. Don't worry. Plan out the steps or intentions you need on your calendar to make those goals happen. And feel the power of planning by being specific. Okay, so we're going to write it down. You've got space there. Here are some example goals for someone just getting started in the industry. If your goal is to start a part-time home staging business in 2019, that's your goal. That's in the white space of that little mapping that I'm setting. The first thing you want to do is invest in my certification training. Okay, of course I'm going to tell you that, but it's true because then you're not reinventing, then you're not guessing, and then you don't have the mystery, and I'm going to walk you through that in a bit. But one thing you can do right away if you don't have the money, if the timing's not right, start redoing and photographing spaces in your and your friend's home. Start researching on Google. Go to Google, put in home staging in your area, start looking at stagers and designers in your area, review their brand, their services, their pricing, their style. Go to house.com, look in your area, start doing the same. You're training your eye. Research your business name. So this is one of the steps. If you've got this great idea for a business name, how do you research it? And this is in my training, but you're going to do 3 things. You're going to Google the business name you think you want and make sure no one has it anywhere else. You're going to go on Facebook and check it out and make sure it's not already taken somewhere else. You're going to go to GoDaddy.com. See if the domain or something very similar is available for you to have. And more importantly, you're going to go to Google, search for federal trademark, and you're going to go to click on the federal trademarking, the test system, and make sure the name isn't trademarked. A lot of people have made the mistake at times of picking a trademark name. So these are things that are in my training, and that's why certification, my training is important, just little things that people forget. But you can do all those things moving towards your goal. And I want you to sign up for catalogs. I want you to be very familiar with furnishings, pottery bar, and ballard design. Start getting catalogs and knowing what's out there. So let's say your goal is to quit your corporate job in 2019, a little more ambitious goal. Of course, I'm going to say you're going to invest in certification training. You're going to go through the training slowly. A lot of people ask me, can I do training while working? Absolutely. This is what people do while they go through and they create their business foundation while working. That is the most ideal situation of starting. And they take on clients during weekends and evening consults because, by the way, it's their business, so they can decide what their schedule looks like. And they build a strong marketing foundation. That's where Shannon, you saw her example email earlier where she didn't have that marketing, that automated marketing during the slow times go. So they do that before they quit. And a story I have to tell is Susan Botka, Area Interiors. I love her story because this is her work, and you can go ahead and ooh and ah because it's pretty fantastic. That she was just like you. She was working a busy corporate job, but it didn't fulfill her. It wasn't in her passion, and she didn't love it. So she finally decided to just break free from corporate America. This is kind of her story, and I love it, to follow her dreams. Those are her words, not mine. She started my training, and she found her niche. Remember, we walked you through that, vacant homes, and she invested in that niche. And now she's growing. She's, if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, you know who I'm talking about.